Hello, this is The Process. My name is Dr. John Bush. We continue our fantasy football lessons. Welcome to the classroom. We're at lesson 51. We passed our 50th lesson last time, and we continue our team focus. Today we're going to hit Detroit and Green Bay, which could be in the biggest flux of the whole league here, depending on where Aaron Rodgers goes or stays, or all sorts of controversy. Hopefully I'm helping you navigate your win of your fantasy football draft. That gets you such an advantage coming in to your league. You just got to pay attention and crush. I'll be doing seasonal activities at fakepigskin.com. Please hang out. I'll be looking at targets, attempts, snaps, defense against the position will be coming, using some Vegas metrics here. Got a little secrets up my sleeve. I'm not sure I will ever put them out here. Hey, we got to make a little money at Daily Fantasy. But anyway, I'll give what I do give, and hopefully you'll pay attention. But anyway, we're trying to set up your drafts here, and let's continue with our team focus. Suggest you start at the beginning of my team analysis. We're doing 2 teams per lesson. Here we go, Detroit. So how this set up is we have a conference, so it's NFC North. The team is Detroit. Position or quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, and I'm looking at fantasy point averages of the position from 2016, 2020, and I circled the 5-year top in blue. So that gives us a feel for the recency of the production there. Grand totals is looking across the 5 years, and in this case, certainly wide receivers are dominant, and actually the running backs have always had an issue since Barry Sanders, yeah. And so we see that the quarterback almost continues up with the running backs over 5 years. Stafford's golden year was 2019. He did pretty good last year, and he's gone. They moved him on, and I believe they got Jared Goff. Speaking of missed putts here, I'm concerned. I think I'm not the only one concerned about what we're going to see here. Detroit's running backs, 2018 was the golden time, but 2020 they really stepped up into a new kind of that next realm there. So I am kind of bullish on the running backs. We'll talk about who here in a second. The tight ends, notice that the top was last year. TJH really has woke up the Detroit, and I believe with Goff, the check downs, he's the tight end, is the weak quarterback's friend. So I believe I'm definitely bullish here. And the wide receivers are a conundrum. They declined somewhat, and actually, even though 569 was really good, it's been better, and they got rid of Galladay. So I don't know what the long-term strategy is. It looks to me like they're going to do rushing and short passing. So I guess which running back can catch and which wide receiver can do short slot routes, and we may not see the best wide receiver yet from what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe there's a secret play out there. Don't know. Let's move on. So just looks at the 5-year. Quarterback has stayed the same, but with Goff coming in, Stanford leaving, not sure what we're going to get here. Running backs have done well. They Woke up and kind of almost got back to top. That's good. So I am bullish there. TJH, I'm bullish here. This is my concerns right here. Wide receivers. So the metrics are pointing me to be cautious on the wide receivers and the quarterback. Okay, which is fine. You know, it's good to have some clarity about things. At least you come in with a narrative. You know, always be willing to change. You never know if you're in a bias here, but that's how it looks like to me. At least the metrics are pushing me in that direction. Here's the 5-year positional usage. I really like that to just see how the team likes to use each position in the terms of fantasy points. Wide receivers over the 5 years have done nicely. Tight ends have been bad. And like I said, the RBs and the QBs have been about the same. Last year, Stanford declined and the running backs increased. So we got a -1 +1. That seemed to work. And the tight end ascended +3 and the the wide receivers declined. So there seems to be a shift to the RBs and the tight ends here. So let's see what we're talking about. Goff is in. He is a 15th round quarterback 2 type. Best ball, he would be my quarterback 2 type. Okay. Swift is round 2. That seems a fair price. You know, I would try to get him, you know, with a little bargain there, maybe halfway through the 2nd round, but don't know. Jamal Williams is the trickiness there. That could be a bargain. And in best balls, I'm thinking that might be the play. Wait. And I mean, if Swift drops in my lap, I'll take him. But I think I'm looking at Jamal Williams, but others might as well. And TJH, I think, is going almost 6th round. That seems more than reasonable. Might even be a little bit of a bargain. And I would be concerned in August that you won't get the price you can get now. So sometimes it's best to play and get your drafts done early to capitalize on some of these. And I've done that as a strategy, is kind of make a shopping list. Let's call it a shopping list of players who I think in May are nice bargains, because I think in August they will not be available at the price I'm getting. So let's call it a blue light special, and here we go. Now, the conundrum is the wide receivers, and the public says they don't know either, round 13. So I guess Perryman's a little cheaper. So if I've got to invest, is that where I'm going? I'm not really enthusiastic. I'm thinking wide receiver 4 or 5 types. So is this going to be pass catching? So is that Jamal Williams, Swift, and TJH, and then maybe stretch the field with one of these wide receivers on occasion, just to kind of keep the defense off balance? I would think Brown and Perriman might be a better best ball play than actual redraft play. I would want bargains in redraft. I'm going to be frank with you. But I would pay attention. You know, there's going to be, Amon-Ra's going to get some, some gum flapping, in training camp, and best ever, young receiver, impressing all the coaches, that kind of speak. So you might, if you like him, if you're a college person and really like his game, he might be a blue light special now. I don't think Perriman is going to be the special. I believe Perriman's going to be behind Ra, just because he's young, shiny, and everybody's thinking, oh, we know Perriman, so I'll take the unknown. But sometimes the unknown is not so good. So anyway, that's how I'm looking now. let's look just across and focus on the positional differences. I love this graph here. The purple line is the declines from 2020 to the 5-year average. I like that. That's the triangle. And you see that the metrics are pushing me to the RB and the tight ends, and serious concerns about the long passing game. Watch Brown or Perriman, see who's in the slot. Maybe that's the tiebreaker there. I don't know enough to know the young rookies play. So wiser heads and you might investigate out there. Okay, so that's my view of Detroit as of now. Again, I think TJH may be a blue light special, and I believe Jamal Williams is a best ball special. That's my take right now. Okay, let's move on to Green Bay. NFC North, Green Bay, 16-20 grand total. Looks like we're nice wide receiver play, which you would expect with potentially the best quarterback around. Rodgers had a stellar year, okay, one of the best. If he's not on the team, I really would discount many of the pass catchers. I think most people are going to think that as well. Aaron Jones should hold down the fort. The tight ends did well last year, so I'm thinking they're going to do well this year. So if Rodgers is playing, the metrics say kind of 20-20 repeat itself, okay? So there's going to be more of a balance across, and we'll see what the public's going to think about that. If Rodgers is gone, I need to take a deep breath and really relook at things. I think people are going to knee jerk. So I guess if I was approaching this in redrafts, I would want to jump in if Rodgers is staying as soon as possible, because I think the ADPs are going to go up, some blue light specials. I think if you draft before that point, there is some uncertainty, but you might find some bargains if you guess right. Hard to tell. You definitely want to keep that situation in hand. I guess the running backs would survive whoever the quarterback is. And you would think the tight ends, Tanyan and whatnot, would do well. It's the decline of the wide receivers that would give me pause, I think, right now. So I think I'm happy with Rodgers. I think the running backs are fine. The tight ends, a little worried about the wide receiver, but Rodgers does spread the ball, and I do believe that it's Adams and then you have a spread. And I think that's probably what the ADP is going to show us as well. So let's see, what does the ADP say here? Well, we'll get into that. Here is the 5-year position. Running backs maybe used more than you think. Wide receivers have done well. Last year, about the same, and wide receivers declined with tight ends increasing, so there seems to be a connection here. Rodgers was shorting and playing the tight ends, and probably Adams was getting the main show, and then everybody was fighting for scraps. And then they were rushing a lot with Aaron Jones. Okay. Rodgers, 5th round pick, seems reasonable if he stays. In fact, he'll probably, again, he's a blue light special. If you think he's going to stay, this may be the cheapest you get him. Jones is the 11th pick. That seems fair. You know, if you could pick him up a little later, that's always a bargain. Dillon's the question mark. Public says 7th round. I don't know enough to know. How about that? I think I would be cautious on Dillon and wait for a bargain right now. If you got Jones, maybe he's the handcuff. I don't know enough. The metrics are not in on him. Tight ends. Oh, I made a mistake. That Tanyan is a tight end. My bad. Look at that. See? Tight end right there. There it is. Tanyan's round 11. I think that could be a bargain. I think he's a blue light. He could be a late tight end one. Certainly a streaming tight end one. Maybe him and the tight end from Dallas. Jarwin maybe. Play those two. Don't know what their eyes are. So it was Adams. I've seen Adams go later than 7th pick. And some of the best balls, people are walking past him. So there's probably a lot of uncertainty with him. I would definitely wait. I think the time to get him late, if you ever wanted a bargain, is now. So if you wait and Aaron Rodgers says, I'm staying, then Adams is going to be where he's at kind of overall. Lazard and Scantling, kind of same pieces of the puzzle, a little bit of difference. I'd want them at least around later, and they're definitely wide receiver 4-5 in best balls. I might just draft one in a deep bench redraft this year, just in case some, it's an injury handcuff to Adams. If something happened to him, if Rodgers is there, then he's got to throw somewhere. I think Scantling may have the advantage actually over Lazard, but we're talking deep picks. But I might pick up one in a best ball. Just you never know. They may luck into something. Okay. So if I've seemed to be less than certain, I think that's because that's the nature of this team. Okay. I think we're at the point where we're guessing. I would think if you picked Aaron Jones early 2nd round, I think that's okay. I think Dillon might be an okay handcuff. I just don't know. Adams, I think you can wait. Especially, I've seen him in best balls going later. I think you can wait on him. Lizard and Scantling be a wide receiver 4-5 type. Maybe grab one. Tanyan, I believe you take him with another tight end and stream. So you might look at the schedule. I'll have the fence against the positions coming down the road, but I haven't got to that point yet in my process. Okay, so I maybe can't do everything. Yeah, I wish I could just push a button and everything would come out and I'd have all this data already massaged from my fingers and I could just use time to figure things out, but it's not the case. I like to hand go through everything and think some more. So I urge you to do the same when you even look at my stuff. Okay, that's Green Bay. And just to remind us about differences over time, the wide receivers declined, tight ends increased with Tanyan, and everybody stayed about the same with the other positions. If Rogers is not there, this should decline. You know, this, I think we will survive a Tanyan just because whoever's in is probably going to be using the tight end. I think Aaron Jones will be okay. It's, you know, after Adams. In other words, you're picking Adams up at the first or second, him or Tyreek Hill. I'm not sure. He could be a wide receiver 1, but maybe later without Rodgers. So I think, you know, the 10th wide receiver or something versus the second. So, you know, you could spend some capital and lose out. So people are skipping Adams. Okay, I think that's my 10-cent tour. This is Dr. Bush, The Process. Our fantasy football lesson continues. Our journey moves on. Come back.